we're talking about anger and forgiveness, and I'm going to use a little example from eBay. eBay gives their sellers, every buyer who ever buys can only get positive feedback, even if they don't pay. You cannot give a buyer a negative feedback. But sellers, not only can you get negative feedback, but there's a rating system. There's a 5-star rating system. Is the item exactly what you thought it would be? Was the communication good? Was the shipping time good? Was the shipping amount good? And then they not only can give you positive or negative, they can give you 1 to 5 stars. And if you get low stars, eBay sends you letters. That's never happened to me because I live in deadly fear. I live in deadly fear. What if I get a bad feedback? What if I get bad stars? I put so much pressure on myself. And then last night, this guy sends me this scathing email. What you sold me wasn't what you said it was going to be, and I'm not very happy. So I immediately, it's like 10 o'clock, I saw the message on my phone. I'm running downstairs to my computer to answer it. And I said, I'm terribly sorry. In what way wasn't it what you thought it was? And I will certainly, refund your money and blah, blah, blah. And then he emails me right back. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was another auction. It wasn't even mine. And here I'm like sweating it out. And then I take a million pictures and then I ship it the very next day. I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning on Monday. I get all the packages ready. And then they give me like a 3 on shipping time. How fast is fast? You pay on Sunday, I ship it Monday morning. How can it? I think I should get 5 stars. Finally, I said, you know what? Last night, 10 o'clock at night, I said, you know what? I gotta let this go. As I said before, you could sell someone the Holy Grail and they'll say, there was a little bit of rust on the edge of the Holy Grail. And so instead of giving you a 5, I'm going to have to give you a 2. You got to let it go. You cannot make everybody happy. This is how Ellen drives herself to the chips because she said, what if someone gives me a negative? What if they do? Well, the Pray It Off say, Ellen, I have to quit the group. I saw on eBay. You got a negative feedback. You are a piece of crap. I'm out the door. What will happen? Nothing. Why do I do this? Now, you might be able to relate to this in one way or another in another facet of your life. Do we make ourselves a nervous wreck over things that really don't matter? If you try your best, if you do your best, guess what? It's good enough. It's good enough. Let's get back to the anger because I think that's all part of it. If someone would give me a bad feedback, I'd be angry. If they don't say I'm fast, let it go, Ellen. This is one thing I love about this. Spouses and children tend to tolerate the negative behavior longer than strangers. Oh, ain't it the truth? We're at work and everyone's like, oh, Ellen's so nice, or Pray It Off. Oh, Ellen's so nice. And I'm at home and sometimes my head spins around and the pea soup starts coming right out. And who's there? Bob and Vince. And they're like, wow. But I would never do that at Pray It Off because everyone at Pray It Off thinks Ellen's nice. Except some people that I've said, this really isn't a weight loss walk a few times. But anyway, we tend to think our families can take it. They can take our bad sides. Why do we do that? Isn't it true? It's so true, Judy. It's so true. And what we need to do is look at that anger because it's usually displaced. I always say to Bob, when I don't feel good, let's say you don't feel good, that's when I get snappy. That's when I get impatient. So now what I usually do is I say, I don't feel very good. And here's another one. Like if something happens, I'll say, I think it would be in your best interest to step out of the room right now. And here's what he does as fast as he can. He steps out of the room. I give him what's called the Pray It Off warning, because the old Ellen wouldn't even give him a warning. All of a sudden I'd be like, ah! Now I go, I think it would be in your best interest. He runs out of the room. What we need to do is be careful of that anger that comes when we're tired or whatever. And usually it tends to go with what you're used to. Did your parents fly off the handle when things went wrong? Did they go to the chips and the alcohol? It's so funny because sometimes I'll say something and Bob will say, whoa, did that sound like your mother? And I'm like, oh my gosh, it really did. It really did. I'm so sorry. We need to kind of stop some of that behavior where it is. Love your parents, love them. but understand that they made mistakes just like you did as a parent. I've said this before, my father was a big drinker. He did some bad things when he was drinking. And one of them was, I was the Irish SOB that he would come running after. And I would run really fast until he got older. Then my mother would be like, he might have a heart attack, let him catch you. And I'm like, ah, you know. So then I'm like, all right, is he going to have a heart attack? Do I let him catch me? Oh my, how's that for guilt? Come on. You know, oh my God, he'll have a heart attack going after me. What do I do? So I joke about it, but there's the adult Ellen who sometimes is going, let it go. Let it go. And then it goes back to what you've done wrong. How many times have we wished we could get in a time tunnel and go back 5 minutes before an incident and redo? Do over, but there is no do-over. You just have to forgive yourself, even if the person that you've asked for forgiveness from isn't quite ready to forgive you. You have to forgive yourself if you're truly sorry. And here's where I want to come to grips with this. You go to confession, you confess your sins, and God absolves you, and he forgets them. What an insult to God that you keep beating yourself up for something he's forgotten. That's what I keep telling myself. That's what I think will help us all with forgiving ourselves. One of the things, too, is that we have a fear. Anger and forgiveness is a fear of lack of control. What part about life and control are we not clear about? We have none. We have no control. None. We think we do, and it's a joke. We have no control. We're on this planet that's whipping around the sun, and every day we just have to do the best we can to be kind, to be loving, to forgive ourselves and each other. The question isn't always who's to blame in things. It's where can the healing be found? How can we heal? We can choose love or we can choose self-blame and anger. We need to get rid of that fake forgiveness, and we need to visualize actually forgiving, even if they're dead, especially if they're dead. I love that part in the book, The Shack, when he sees his father, and he had a bad relationship. And even one of my best philosophy professors at Lemoyne said, in heaven, all the annoying things about people that really bug you, those things are gone. And I said to Bob the other night, we're laying in bed, I go, I'm a little worried about this whole heaven business. I said, is there a body? Do we have a perfect body? Because look at the transfiguration. They saw Jesus. So I just don't like the idea of floating around as a spirit. And I've never been bored 1 second, and I don't want to be bored in heaven. And I think, guess what that's all, you guys? Useless worry. I'm sitting there worried about heaven being boring. I mean, is that out of my control or what? Okay. I know. That's how crazy I am.
Adoring God.
I know. He's going to make it. We need to really try some of these exercises. We need to try to sit in the chair, be on the beach, go forward, and forgive ourselves. There's a whole article here. I'm going to bring people back. There's a whole article here on physical and spiritual care for the heart. What it's saying is you can exercise, you can eat right, and you can not smoke. And if you don't let go of the anger, if you don't let go of and forgive people, you could have high blood pressure, physical stress, and physical maladies that hurt your heart. So read this. It's very good to forgive each other. If you're harboring any bitterness towards someone, let it go. And I love this. A famous psychiatrist was asked, what would you advise a person to do if that person felt a nervous breakdown coming on? Consult a psychiatrist. And the famous psychiatrist said, lock up your house, go across the railroad tracks, find someone in need, and do something to help that person. When God said to me, I will help you, Ellen, if you help other people, there was no turning back for me. I've never felt better because I feel Pray It Off is helping people. I don't worry as much as I do about some of this other crazy stuff that I always would worry about. Read these articles, try to come to terms, even if it's the blackest sin, God can forgive and forget if we're truly sorry. If someone's done the blackest sin against you, if you don't let it go, you can only hurt yourself. There's a little thing in here about vegetable quiche cups, which look great from the South Beach diet. Somebody gave me it. Thank you, whoever did. Was it you, Mary? Thank you. They're good. And now I'm going to stop there, Bob. I'm sorry, but it's a very important topic to me. Let's prayerfully live.